Hello, James Chandler here from Eat Well and Workout. Just a quick tutorial on mobility and a quick warm-up that you can do, that I do with all my clients, that you can do sort of on a daily basis or before a workout, or anywhere really. I think the important thing is to remember, try and do this stuff as much as possible, keep yourself moving. Now, it's a mobility warm-up, so thinking about warm-ups, it's not just jumping on the treadmill or the cross trainer to get that core temperature raised up and to get a bit of a sweat on before you exercise. It's to get all your joints through their full range of motion. Thinking through our bodies, we've got shoulders that move around, we've got hips that move around. We need to make sure that our range of motion, or our flexibility or the mobility of a joint is bigger than what it needs to do on a daily basis. So any times that you can go out of that or push it past that can cause injuries, and also essentially the less we use it or lose it when it comes to mobility, the more times that we can sort of cause those little stresses and strains across the day. So thinking through what a lot of us do in our jobs, we're sitting in cars, we're sitting at desks, we're in a hunched over position, we're kind of in this set position, see me, got tight or bent hips, our backs are hunched over on the laptop, or the laptop lap dance I call it, causing extra or lack of mobility in the back of the spine. Now mobility is basically the ability of the joints or our bodies to move around a full range of motion. Like a shot arm going right the way around, or a hip flexing out, our knees bending to full bent, to be able to sit like that position on the back, so my ankles and my knees are bent, takes mobility in all of our joints. So a quick kind of flow through the warm-up I do with my clients. So starting from lying down, we'd start with something known as a foam roller. Now we've got a whole selection of them here. It can go from anything from, this is what you might have seen in the gym, which is just where the name comes from. It's like a foam roller, so it's made of foam and you roll on it. I'll get to that in a second. You can go up to different levels, top level being a piece of wood, so that can work quite nicely. When you get to the point of getting used to how the pain of it is quite good, and how it works. Normal foam roller, you might have seen these more, it's a PVC tube with some foam on the outside. We use that one in 1 second, and then you can go even up a level to a spiky one, etc, etc. So that's kind of those ones to start off with. This is a good entry level one, it's a trigger point one, and it's sort of a good starting point. So what I'll do for here is starting with my calves. You just simply put both calves on the foam roller and then just roll up and down. So I'm starting right on my tendons. This tends to be quite painful to begin with. So getting used to that kind of pain, it's kind of a good pain, like a therapist's thumbs would produce, rather than sort of like needle sharp, unbalanced, lightning strike sort of pains. That's your body telling you other messages that you need to be aware of. So this is kind of like it's a reduction of pressure, or an application of pressure across the back of my calves. So I'll bring it down there. So I'll roll it up, go, there's no reason why I can't go further, past the knees, move that bench, past the knees and that foot position, up onto the hamstrings, across from there. So this is squashing the muscles like a rolling pin. So it's kind of putting pressure on the muscles. This then tells the muscles when we take it off, as I have done now, to relax a bit further in the most simplest sort of forms. So that's then doing the positions from there. So starting from here, just on there, and you can cross the legs over. I've done there, that adds a bit more pressure, and sort of that sort of thing. This puts me in touch with how my body is. If I'm sort of thinking, right, okay, today is going to be a day where I'm doing sprinting or squatting, this is kind of, there's a bit of a tight point there, and you spend a bit extra time on this calf. Likewise, it could be the other one, or it could just be, right, this is feeling really sort of nice and loose. It just could be simply just to get the blood to the muscles, get them working. So that's that one. The other point for this one as well, talked about thoracic spine, which is basically your spine from your rib cage right up to the top, so it's kind of that sort of portion. That gets tight or bent over, so we get this arch. That's why everyone's always telling us to put our shoulders back and down. The less mobility or the less flexibility you get in that part of the spine, the more the stress can carry to the head and the lower back. So it's that stress in the body, or a tightness in the body, always kind of sort of tends to, well, most of the time, tends to move upwards and downwards. So it'll either manifest itself in maybe headaches, neck pain, shoulder pain, or lower back. That sort of thing from this sort of position. So what we need to do, thinking about positions our body's in across the day, like with any of this, is to try and do the opposite. So I'm going to put this just below. So very difficult to hurt yourself doing this, but just be cautious. If you've got any weakness in your core, or have had any problems with your discs in your back, just be very cautious on this. So I'm holding my weight with my hands, just putting it on the back, so just on the bottom of my rib cage, and start from there. I'm keeping my bum on the floor. This is sort of like the first level stuff, up and down, just up and down from that sort of point. So starting, this is a sort of tight point for me where I sort of flex over driving a lot. Then this, you can do crunches over it as well. There's no wrong or right way to do this. Like I say, I'm going to put that effort onto it, and you can move up to putting a bit more tension on it, right up the back. So I can feel that sort of releasing the pressure. Relax onto it. You will fight it at first because the muscles and the spine, the muscles are trying to protect the spine and that sort of thing. And you go right to the top level, putting your hands over the top, and then like that. So I've noticed I've got my feet with me, and then just coming back and forwards, and sort of letting that position, and hold those positions where I feel it's like doing some release. The one thing to watch as well with this, with any of this, is obviously keeping your hands underneath. So that's sort of the starting point from that one. Next level, if you can see me right in this position, is just a sort of like a spinal thoracic rotation. So I'm going to put the low on the floor, put my hands down, feet nice and close. Now anybody who's had any issues with lower back, discs or anything like that, please check with your doctor first, as with any of this stuff, before you do this one, because it is a shearing force across the body. So we need to make sure we're apt to do this first. Back position from there, so I'm thinking about a nice straight line, straight through the top of my head, down through my body, and then I'm going to try and move my legs, keeping this opposite shoulder on the ground, moving my legs down, and just going for rotation, feeling that stretch across the side, and back again. So I'm now starting to put movement onto my warm-up. So coming down either side, so that feels quite tight, going back, and that sort of position. However many reps you do, is however many you feel you need to do. So building those sort of ones up. From here, nice position because we're on the floor already. I can reset my shoulders underneath. I'm going to do a hamstring stretch, classic one before, you've seen that. So just coming up to there, just as best you can. You can keep the leg bent if you want to, but as straight as possible if you can. If you can't quite reach there, the towel around the legs will work just as well. And just coming up through there. And then I'm going to, if you can see my foot at the top, I'm going to do some circles. Anti-clockwise, clockwise. Just getting that joint, that's loosening up, because my leg's on the stretch, that's now loosening up the ankle. Come back up again, anti-clockwise, clockwise. You do as many of these as it takes, really. So feel all those joints, all those tendons in my calves loosening up. Come down from there. From here again, resetting my shoulders underneath, arms to the side. I'm going to do hip raises. This is where it starts to even feel more and more like a workout. So I'm going to pushing my heels into the floor, so hip width apart, if you can see from there, and then just come up as high as you can, and then squeezing the glutes. This is important with this one, to squeeze the glutes and not get distance up by using your thoracic spine and bending here. So you don't want the lumbar spine to bend, sorry, and coming down. So it's there. Imagine I'm squeezing my glutes, or my bum muscles, up to the ceiling to try and loosen up all my hips. This turns into a bit of a workout, this, and that's what I mean. It's building up mobility. So squeeze down and up, and squeeze the glutes at the top. You can put a bit of a pause on it, whatever you feel sort of adds a bit of effort to it. And even if you want to go up to another level, keeping the leg upright, or you can cross it over, but come over and then one-legged, up to that position, and down. Come down and then up, and hold that position, and come down again. So it's starting to feel like a bit of effort here, and that sort of position from there. Coming round, sitting up, I can go into an inner thigh stretch, feet together. Important to see my chest's up, my back's down, and just pushing through the elbows. Just a little bit of pressure. You should feel that you get to start to know here which side is tighter. Give me that position, and that's that stretch. Inner thighs, going on to piriformis or the outside of the leg. Put the foot in front of the knee. Then I'm starting to get the outside of the leg now. So I've done the inside of the leg, now I'm going to do the outside of the leg. Keeping that heel and that front foot forward, and just put across, I can feel that. You might feel it, well, you might feel it one side or the other. Runners in the room will feel that one more. You might feel it either side. So when I start doing my legs and arms either side, I start to get a bit of a feedback on what's going on. So if this left side was really tight, then I know maybe spend a bit more time on that. It could be a message to me to tell me not to squat or run, like I said before, or put some extra effort in on top. And that sort of side feels quite loose. So it's starting to give you messages on how your body is. So, moving on to the front, what we call supine position. So this position, all fours, everybody can do this. You did it once as a child, you can do it now. So I'm putting a nice rectangle across, lined up here, and that from here. So if you can see from there, I'm going to do little scap raises. So I'm imagining that I've got someone's going to put a big amount of pressure across my shoulder blades and pushing down. Coming down and then coming up, and then I'm going to have somebody with my head straight. I've always got to correct myself on that. Then up, shoulder blades apart. So just a few of those. So you're putting your scapula on your shoulder blades together at the back and back up. It should start to feel nice. You feel that sort of loosening. Take time with this. All the time through. I'm keeping a nice straight back, not hunching it round. That'll come in a second. So you've heard of neutral spine maybe, or core strength. That's keeping that tension. So coming down and up. And down, and then the next one into there. So I think this is a cat-camel stretch, but I've stolen it from yoga, so I couldn't remember the full name. So coming up from there, and then I'm going to keep down. So just watching the tension on the head here. I'm going to try and keep it in line with my upper back, right through the back. So someone's pulling the centre of my back upwards, like a cat would. And then coming down, right the way down, and letting it drop right down. So actually with this, if you can see, I'm imagining I've got tail, and I'm poking my tail between my legs, and I'm poking it up in the air. So that's the kind of thing to think about. So really spend some time on any of this that feels like it's a good stretch for you. Some days it might, sometimes it might not. It depends on what you've been doing the day before, or generally. So that we are a product of our own ability as it comes. So that's sort of position from there. Again, taking this now to a different level, you're going to put it into a quadruped, or alternating Superman, or bird dog, whatever you want to call it. It's the same exercise. Now you're not going to see my arms and legs, they're going to go off the screen, but basically I'm going to put my alternate arm and alternate leg, I'm pushing them out, and pushing a nice straight line, so my heel's coming out back, I'm not putting through my toes, I'm pushing through my heel, and then so as if someone's pulling my heel apart, away, straight in a straight line in my back, so coming down from there. So you should start to feel all the efforts. That's the more wobbly side for me, so bringing in, you feel that core having to strengthen. So my arms, the foot's gone a little bit high there, coming out and then coming down. So just do 10 of these, sort of position, and coming back, and from there. So someone's stretching apart. So I'm now starting to turn on my glutes, turning on the lower back, getting everything moving. Again, so up into kneeling. So now we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. You might need something to hold, so that sort of like steady yourself, or you can do it against a bench, or such like, or a wall, so you're keeping it from that sort of position. But a great stretch for hips. We're talking about hip flexors. If you're in this position on a daily basis, where you've got all these muscles are tight, sitting, driving, whatever, there's a muscle in there called the psoas, P-S-O-A-S, and it's a muscle that joins, well, it starts off from all of these lower vertebrae and the discs as well, goes across the front of my pelvis and down into our hips, into there. So basically it's a muscle that has quite a lot to do. If it gets tight or weak from sitting in this position, won't change in length, that's a myth, because it starts from the same place and finishes at the end place. So any time you're going to shorten a muscle is if you start shortening your bones, and I don't recommend that. But across here, so if I'm coming from that position, I'm in this position, this is tight, and then I go to stand up, and I'm kneeling, but standing up from there, and this is tight, and I'm trying to make myself upright, it's either going to pull on the inside of the thigh, creating tightness here, or it's going to pull on the lower back and the discs, generally. So, might not have any issues with it, but at the end of the day, it depends on what you're doing. If that's not being able, if I can't then extend my hips, it means my glutes, the muscles at the back, or my bum muscles can't do their job when I'm walking or running. So then it creates a problem with the movement from the back. So starting from there. So spending a bit of time on that is because it's probably one of the big rocks that I get clients to stretch, and we notice some difference straight away from lots of time sitting at a desk and things. So I'm going to stretch this hip on this side, I'll put my other foot up, again, a little bit of balance, get in a good position, so this heel's over there, and I'm going to sort of, from this position. Now the important thing to think about here is we're stretching this point at the front. So you might feel it in the quad a little bit, but coming forward. So focus on this knee, and bring this knee over, and coming forward down to that stretch. So I'm always pushing this knee down to the floor, and coming back. What I'm trying not to do, tell me if I'm wrong in doing it, is to hyperextend through my back. Because with any of this sort of stuff, I'm trying to get to a position so my body will try and find a way, or will find a way. So I'm really focusing, or trying to put my focus onto the muscles here, going forward. At the point at the bottom, try and squeeze your glutes. Coming forward, and then going backwards. So that's the position. Other side, we'll do it from that. Those of you who want to increase that, you can put it up into a position on here, say this is a couch or something, and then adding an extra bit of focus and a bit of stretch onto that position, squeezing the glutes as well.